Chapter 4.5, Day 2, your homework question number 25. You're going to find all the real solution of the equation x cubed plus x squared minus 17x plus 15 equal to 0. First thing you want to do is to find the possible roots. What are be the possible root for this one? So you're going to have a last number divided by the front. So last number factor divided by the first number factor. So again, the factors of 15 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, and plus or minus 15. Factors of front number, that is 1, is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 1, and plus or minus 1, which we don't have to write. So our basic factors are plus or minus 1, 3, 5, and 15. Now we are going to test these numbers that give us a remainder 0. So again, we're going to start with the lowest number. So let's start with 1. So let's see if that gives me a remainder 0. Using synthetic division, I'm using the coefficient 1, 1, negative 17, and 15. So I got here is 1, 1, negative 17, and 15. Using synthetic division, 1 times 1 is 1. That's 2 when you add. 2 times 1 is 2. And that's negative 15. Negative 15 times 1 is negative 15. And that makes my remainder 0 right away. So this time I got lucky that I didn't even have to try another number. Right when I tried number 1, it gives me remainder 0. So my factor is x minus 1, because when it's the positive 1 and you want to write it in a factor form, then you're going to use is negative 1. X minus 1 is a factor. Now we already have one factor for this polynomial. So this polynomial, that was the given polynomial, we got the factor is x minus 1. Now we are going to find the other factor to put that equal to 0 to find x values. The other factor is from this quotient, that is x squared, x minus 15. So that's going to be x squared plus 2x minus 15. And then we are going to make the two factors out of this quadratic, x and x here. Two numbers when multiplied to be negative 15 and add to be 2. So two numbers multiplied to be negative 15, add to be 2 are going to be plus 5 minus 3. So we have three factors of this big polynomial. This big polynomial that are x minus 1, x plus 5 times x minus. Now the next step is to find actually the x value. So what we're going to do is nothing much. We're going to put those factor equal to 0 one by one. And next time we can avoid this step if you know that the putting 0 one by one is just using the x value with the opposite sign. And the answer is x equals 1, x equals negative 5, and x equals 3. Now I'm going to do question number 27. Find all real solution of the equation x cubed minus 10x squared plus 19x plus 30. The possible roots or possible rational roots are factor of 30 divided by factor of 1. So if it's just the factor of 1, I don't use 1 underneath because it's same factors. So factor of 30 are 1, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 10, comma 15, and plus or minus 30. Divided by plus or minus 1 for each one of them. Since divided by 1 is the same as these factor, so I did not write divided by plus or minus 1 for any of that. Now I'm going to check if 1 is a factor or if 1 makes the remainder 0. Using the synthetic division, I bring down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. And the number you got here is negative 9 plus 19 is 10. And that gives us 40 as remainder, which means that 1 is not making the remainder 0. It means writing the 1 in a factor form, which is x minus 1, is not a factor. Now we're going to try negative 1. So for negative 1, 1 times 1, negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 10, negative 1 will give me 11. Negative 11 times negative 1 is positive 11. Add these together, you got 30. 30 times negative 1 is negative 30. When you add, you got 0. It means the remainder is 0, which means that x plus 1 is a factor. So you got the one factor as x plus 1 for this polynomial. The other factor is 1x squared minus 11x plus 30. You have one factor x plus 1. Other two factor, x and x, you write it as it is. Multiply to be 30. Two numbers multiply to be 30. And add to be negative 11 or negative 6 and negative 5. Equal to 0. Put them equal to 0 one by one, and x values are negative 1, 6, and 5. Next, we are going to find the possible solution or rational roots for question 21a. The problem is 2x to the 4 minus 5x cubed plus 10x squared minus 9. Factors of 9 divided by factors of 2. Factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Factors of 9, so which is 1, 3, and 9. Divided by one of the factor of 2, that is 1, first of all. And then the same factors of 9, 1, 3, and 9, divided by the factor of 2, which is 2. Now list all the possible 0 without repeating any. So one of the root is 1, 3, 9, 1 over 2, 3 over 2, and 9 over 2. So these are all the possible rational root for this equation. For number 21b, looking at these roots, you're going to choose which one of these choices is not a possible solution for this equation. And you can see that on these possible solution, 5 over 2 is not the part of the possible solution. So the answer is 5 over 2 is not a possible solution. So for 23, you're going to describe and correct the error for the possible zeros. So the factors for negative 45 should be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 9, plus or minus 15, and plus or minus 45. So it's just these number without a plus or minus sign. So what the error was that we just took the positive numbers, but we should have a negative numbers as well to prove that these are the possible solution, because negative numbers are also a possible solution for this polynomial.